Well, this is the first episode of the Fueled by Coffee podcast, and it's already a disaster. I forgot pop filters, so if you hear rustling, it's because we're using paper towels as pop filters right now. So I am here today starting this podcast because I had the idea. It was a 3 a.m. idea at work. I work overnight, and in the middle of the night, I come up with all sorts of stuff. And I was thinking about stories I could tell, and there are some that we may talk about today. There are some that we may talk about on other episodes. But I'm in a period of my life where I'm trying new things, and I have lots of ideas, and I'm very motivated to pursue said ideas. So, we are here today recording a makeshift podcast, and I hope that the next one will be less of a disaster than this one. But I'm confident that today our conversation will make up for the technical errors that we have faced already. Flat tires, makeshift pop filters, and messed up microphone clips will not hold us back from talking. So today I am here with my friend Aaron, who is into software development, correct?
Yeah, that's one of the things.
And he also plays in a band known as Above the Mendoza. He plays guitar and he sings. They are on hiatus right now, I guess, sort of.
Yeah, we're like a book me at your party band, I guess.
Cool. So I met Aaron about a little more than 2 years ago, and so I would consider him to be a good friend of mine. So I guess one of the things I want to do at the beginning of each podcast is I want to ask people what's going on in the life of Aaron right now? What is something interesting and new and fun that's going on for you?
I don't really have anything interesting going on right now. I'm looking for a new job. If anybody's hiring out there.
For the 3 people that are going to listen to this, please give him a job.
Yeah, I mean, we played our first show in a year last week.
Well, that's cool.
That was pretty cool. It was fun to get back out there.
Yeah, and that was in Philly, correct?
Yeah, we played, it's a place called the Carlisle House. It's literally a house on Carlisle Street.
Okay. Did you guys film a video there, or was that in Bethlehem? Or was
we filmed the House Special 2 video in Bethlehem.
Okay.
I don't think we ever did any official music videos. I'm sure there's some video of shows from there that we played a bunch because Pete, our lead singer, lived there for 3 years.
Gotcha.
Hit the mic.
It's all good. So I guess one of the we were just sitting here staring at each other with these paper towels.
We gotta take a picture and post it on your Facebook page or something.
Yeah, seriously.
I guess we gotta make a Facebook page first.
Yeah, we. It looks like we're reading plays off of a sheet for football. Looks like we're like Doug Peterson sitting here,
or Wild West Bandits,
or reading a book or a newspaper of some sort of literature. Yeah. So.
Keeps in my beard.
Yeah. The reason, so I guess I should explain the reason why I called this the Fueled by Coffee podcast is I have a music project that I've pursued for almost 5 years now called Union Coffee Break. And I didn't want to just call it the Union Coffee Break podcast because I feel like that's a cop-out. And I just feel like that's kind of, I don't know. So the next thing that came to mind was Fueled by Coffee. So now I want to be a little gimmicky with it. And each episode I want to have a different kind of coffee. So today I was crunched for time. I'm just literally drinking coffee out of my Keurig at the moment. But there will have to be episodes involving Wawa or other local coffee.
I'm pretty sure you can get fancy coffee for Keurigs too.
Yeah, probably. Those. You know what's really gross? I saw new K-Cups at work the other day. They're like Twinkies flavored and Snowball flavored. That's disgusting. It's absolutely
Snowball flavored.
It's like those.
All the snow I've ever eaten, it hasn't tasted very good.
Well, haven't you ever seen like the snack cakes, Snowballs?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like real snowballs.
No, it's just like disgusting sponge cake filled with chemicals.
Hostess flavors.
Yeah.
These are your K-Cups brought to you by Hostess. Fueled by Coffee brought to you by K-Cups brought to you by Hostess.
Please sponsor me.
I was on another podcast where every other sentence we tried to get a company to sponsor us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was wild. It was super annoying.
Was that the one with the guys in Binghamton?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that.
Duct tape.
Is that what it was called?
Duct tape was the company we were trying to get to sponsor us because they were holding our van together.
Oh, that's right. Lots of stories about the van. Lots of fun times in the van. I was in that van quite a few times, I would say. One story that comes to mind is when we drove to upstate New York to get a new back door for the van.
Yeah, that was a trip for sure.
And I think that was a waste of time.
Looking back on it, definitely.
I mean, it was a fun trip, don't get me wrong, but that door was nothing in comparison to the cardboard door.
But it extended the life of, or the use of the van, I guess, for quite a few months.
True.
It was very cold with just cardboard in the window.
That's true. I was in there quite a few November, December mornings. Snow in the back.
Things would definitely get inside the window.
So one of the things I have on my list is it's now November, and I am very weird, and I associate things with colors. So, like, to me, November is the brown month. I don't know why.
Is that like the brown note from South Park?
I mean, maybe after Thanksgiving, when you eat too much, you're bloated, and then, like, say someone undercooks the turkey and you get the shits or something. I don't know. But I don't know why. I associate it with the brown. It's the brown month. I don't know. Thanksgiving, football month. I mean, there's a lot of brown things. Yeah.
Turkey.
Fall, for some reason, I think of brown.
It's in the color palette.
Maybe,
orange, yellow,
maybe
red,
it's
brown.
a subliminal message that the education system has somehow placed into my brain by showing me pilgrims and turkeys. And
is this going to turn into a conspiracy theory podcast?
Well, there are actually a couple people who I could talk conspiracy theories with, so it may very well, but not today. But yeah, thinking about one of the things that I thought about at work the other morning when I came up with this idea for this podcast was last November. I'm sure you probably remember, we had a horrible snowstorm, the snowpocalypse, that no one prepared for. And everyone was stranded in the Lehigh Valley because PennDOT did not do their job. And they said, you know what? We're not going to get anything. And workplaces, my workplace, I worked like half an hour from home, and they didn't let me out early. They were talking about it, but because one department was behind, they made us all stay. And I should have left. It started snowing like noon, 1 o'clock maybe. I got out at 3:30, and I got a text as soon as it started snowing, or maybe half an hour after, from someone, and they were like, "You should probably get out of there because it's not good right now." And I was like, "Yeah, maybe." I was like the new guy, so I'd been there for a couple months, and I was like, "I don't want to be that guy who's like, I'm just gonna leave." And in hindsight, I probably should have, because, as I said, they made us stay. And with your work situation, you were stranded in Allentown, correct?
Oh yeah, I worked over off of Tillman Street by the Turnpike entrance, and 78 was just a mess. And it was just becoming, I guess it was probably bad. They let us out early. I think I ended up leaving around 1, maybe 12:30 or 1, and I normally get on 309 to 78, but that day I had to go stop and get gas or something.
Yeah.
Luckily, I stopped because I ended up sitting in traffic for about 7 hours till I got home. So I definitely would have run out of gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. And then I tried to get on by Dorney Park, and the ramp was backed up to Hamilton Boulevard.
Jeez.
And so I was like, there is no way I'm getting on 78. There's got to be another way to get home. So I just kept going through on Google Maps, and 6 hours later I ended up at St. Luke's where I was picking up my fiance, and then it took about another hour to get home.
Was that with the van or was that with the Subaru?
No, that was with that. So the van died in, I want to say, August or September. I think I got my Subaru in September.
Okay.
Luckily, the van would have been a nightmare. It was rear wheel drive, big. Like, I think I stopped and helped push 3 or 4 people on my way home.
Right. Just
because they were in the way. Somebody had to get them out of the way. Like, I
wish that you would have driven past me. that was a hell of an experience I had as well.
Oh, sure.
I was working in Nazareth at the time, which is about 30 minutes north of Hellertown, where I live. And I think I've told you this story before, but I'm just going to tell it for the sake of the podcast. So as I said, they didn't let us out early just because one department was behind. That money meant more to them than our lives and our safety. So 3:30 rolls around, and they, there's probably 350, 400 people leaving the building. And as far as I know, the people that left at 4:30 were still stranded there till 4:30. Like, they didn't let them go home early either. I was in warehousing, by the way, picking and packing orders, which is totally not worth it. We'll get into that topic probably on a podcast with Aaron, because he and I talk about work a lot. But so I get outside, and the snow is already there's like a sheet of ice packed under the snow, and it's, I don't know, pretty deep. I think I was wearing shorts that day too, because I was pretty crazy.
That's a wild twist in the story there.
Yeah, well, I hate wearing pants. I will wear pants if it's like something really nice, like a wedding or church or whatever. But for what, when you're running around a warehouse all day picking items, it gets hot, and you got to keep yourself from sweating. Excuse me. So anyways, so I get out to my car, and there's probably like 6 inches of snow on my car. So at the time, I had a tiny little ice scraper, one of those normal, like real short, small ones. Everyone's doing the same thing. I see people like using sheets of cardboard to scrape snow off their cars. And so then we all start leaving finally. And it's snowing like crazy. There's ice coming down. There's ice under the snow. Normally, so on a normal day of work with all these people leaving, it would take me about 15 to 20 minutes just to get out of the parking lot. And then from the parking lot, there was maybe like, once I got down to the light outside the parking lot to turn on to one of the main roads, it would take me then about 10 minutes to get to the next light, where I would normally go straight across, make another couple turns, and head towards 33, which is a highway. And it took me probably like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes just to get out of the parking lot. And then to get to the light that it would normally take me 10 minutes to get to, it took me like an hour to move that far. So then I go through the light, and I'm thinking the highway is probably not a good option right now. Something in my head was just telling me, do not do that. And so I make a right turn to go the back way home past Northampton Community College. Going up that road, there's a couple small, very, very small hills that any car could handle in normal weather. Not my car in this kind of weather, because, it's a small rear-wheel drive German sedan. And while it, I feel cool driving it, it looks awesome, you don't feel cool when you're fishtailing going up multiple hills on a back road. So, I made it up one hill, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay, that's one hill. I'm going to do this. Go up the second hill. And, as I said, they're very, very mild incline. The second one, I fishtail a little bit. There's people behind me, but I regained control, made it up. And I'm like, all right. I'm sitting there looking at this third hill, thinking, I got one more hill to get up, and I will be perfectly fine if I can make it through this. So as I'm going up this third hill, my car starts fishtailing, and I'm trying to regain control. As I'm fishtailing, the guy behind me is trying to go around me. And I'm like, okay, that's safe. What a great driver. And I end up getting stuck on the side of the road. This is a very narrow back road. And what was to my right, which is where I was stuck, it was like an embankment that was full of snow now. And there was a house. Didn't look like anyone was home. So I'm freaking out, essentially. I remember as I was fishtailing into the embankment, I'm going, no, fuck. And then as I got stuck, I was like, shit, like I'm yelling in my car. All these people are going around me at this point. I'm spinning my tires. And the only person I thought to call was my mom. So I called my mom, and I'm just like, she's like, oh, what's going on? And I'm like, 0 to 120 real quick. I was like, Mom, I'm fucking stuck. I don't know what to do. How do I get out of here? And she's like, okay, you got to calm down. Like, you know, my mom being the saint that she is, putting up with everyone and their shit. She's like, just calm down. I'm going to figure something out. So I'm in the car. I'm nearly breaking down because I'm like, this is ridiculous. I should have left work 2 hours ago or 3 hours ago at this point. You know, it's still snowing and sleeting heavily. Cars are just driving by me. No one's, I have my four ways on. No one's stopping to say, hey, do you need a hand? Can I help you with this? I'd say probably 200 cars passed me by. Not even one soul stopped to help me get out.
Not even a second thought.
Yeah, and 2 of those were plows. I remember the one plow, he started going up the hill, and then he stopped, and I was thinking, oh, this guy's going to help me get out. And he starts backing up, and I was like, oh my God, he's going to back into my car and just kill me. Luckily, I don't know why he was backing up. He started going forward again. And so I'm sitting there. I called my girlfriend at the time, and she's like, what's going on? And, I tell her, I'm like breaking down on the phone, talking to her. And she's like, well, do you want me to come get you? Because her car had 4-wheel drive, but it was still low to the ground like mine. And I was like, no, because then you're going to get stuck, and then your dad's going to have to go out and get you, and then he's going to be pissed that he has to go out and get you. It's just not going to be a good situation for anyone. So I sat here for probably 2 or 3 hours. So I left at 3:30. By this point, it's like 6:30. I was crazy. I don't, when I was working day shift, before I was working overnights, I wouldn't eat during the day. I would just get up, go to work, drink water during my breaks because I wasn't really hungry, and then I'd come home and eat dinner. So at this point, I hadn't eaten anything all day. I'm tired. I'm pissed off. I'm upset. And, I'm in and out of contact with my mom. My dad no one knows where he is because he's still on the way home from work. He was stranded in Allentown as well because he worked in Browningsville. And so my mom eventually calls me. She's like, all right, here's the plan. Me and your pop, which is my grandfather, we're going to come pick you up. Now, my pop, he is an 81-year-old. He's the most badass 81-year-old I've ever met in my entire life. Navy veteran. His SUV has 4-wheel drive, and she says, we're going to come pick you up. Okay, cool. So I'm thinking it's going to be like half an hour maybe. I'm sitting there, and then half an hour later, she calls back, and I'm like, did you leave yet? She's like, no, we're just leaving now. So I'm like, okay. And she's like, do you still have gas? I'm like, yeah, I have plenty of gas. My car is hot. I'm kind of pissed off that I'm in this situation right now. I was mad at work. I was like, fuck, my workplace, I'm not going to name drop them. And I was like, F them, F this, F my boss, F all these people. So then at some point my family had, happened to think my brother-in-law, his mom, lives like a minute from where I was. So they called her up because her boyfriend has a pickup truck with a plow in the front. And he said he would come out and help me get out, try and push my car out or whatever. So he came down, and we finally, after, I don't know, probably 15 to 30 minutes of trying, got my car free. He wanted me then to back up in reverse on this icy road with cars coming. He wanted me to back up to the previous street and park my car on that street, and then he was going to take me back to their place. And if this road, by this point, like, this road was so narrow, if no one would have come and picked me up, I was just going to walk home. But I didn't want to leave my car there because it would have gotten hit by a plow or something. So as soon as we get my car free and I'm moving forward, I didn't even stop. I just kept going. And he said the whole time he's looking at me, and he's like, he's not going to make it up that hill. He's not going to make it up that hill. And I made it up the hill. And so then, he got back in his truck, went around me, showed me the way to their house. Car gets stuck a second time going into their driveway because they drove over a pile of leaves.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it was, so then we're like, then my brother-in-law's mom is outside. The three of us are pushing my car to try and get it onto the driveway. Finally, through this whole fiasco, we get it in. It's probably like 8 o'clock at this point. I'd been on the road for 5 hours, 5.5 hours. And then eventually, so everything was backed up to my knowledge, not just like the highways. Didn't they shut those down completely?
I think at one point, yeah. If they didn't shut them down, they were naturally shut down by just everyone being at a stop.
Right. So even like all the what?
Nothing.
Oh, I thought you had something to say.
No, just making faces.
Oh, okay. The paper towels make it difficult to figure out what the other person's move is going to be.
It's like poker.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a little close.
At this point, I was ready to fold if we're talking about poker. Yeah, so everywhere was backed up. Back roads, main roads, highways. There was, if anyone is familiar with the Lehigh Valley area in Freemansburg, there's the Freemansburg Bridge, which is narrow. There's no shoulder on it. There was a tractor trailer stuck on the Freemansburg Bridge. So that was essentially only one lane, and people were sitting. It took my mom and my grandfather forever to get to me, and but they did it. No, they didn't have to help me get dug out, which I was kind of worried about because, you never want an 81-year-old shoveling snow. That's terrifying. Or pushing a car, even, no matter how cool and badass and tough they are. But yeah, so they finally came and they got me like 8:30, 9 o'clock. We didn't get home until we were on the road then for like another 2 hours. I didn't get home till almost 11 o'clock at night. I was freezing because I was wearing shorts. My feet were wet because I was wearing Vans, so those got wet being in the snow. Like when I got to, I'm just gonna say them by name, Ann and Tom. My brother-in-law's mom and her boyfriend. When I got to Ann and Tom's place, they were like, "Oh, like, do you want something to drink? Do you want some new shoes, some new socks?" I was like, "No, I'm good. I just want to go home. Like, I don't really care about any of that stuff right now." It took me like 8 hours to get home that day, and it's all because of PennDOT. So PennDOT, if there's gonna be snow, get your shit together, because I'm not putting up with this. I work even further from home now.
Please do something.
But yeah, that was the snowpocalypse. That was last November, and I only fear for what could happen this November because I still have the same car.
There was talk of something possibly happening Thursday or Friday of this week.
Great.
Guess we'll see though.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the snowpocalypse of 2018. What a disaster it was. People were stranded. It took, and at that point, I got home. It was like almost 11 o'clock. I was like, I need food. I need to eat right now. So I finally ate dinner and, got into warm clothes. I was never so happy to have hot food in my stomach and then go to bed.
I might be confusing this with another time it snowed, but I think we grabbed Papa John's on the way home.
Okay.
Because we didn't have anything made for dinner, and it was probably 8 o'clock by the time we got home.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It was a disaster. And
shout out to Papa John's. Maybe they'll sponsor us.
Sponsor me, please.
This can't be that again.
It will. Let's make it happen. Washington Nationals.
Oh my God, World Series champs.
Please sponsor us. 76ers 5-0. Please sponsor me.
5-1. They lost last night.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh man, I saw someone on Twitter. They had 5-0. I was tricked.
The Phoenix Suns.
I was watching that game in between the Dallas and the Giants game.
Yeah. I stayed up for the first half of the Cowboys-Giants game and then fell asleep.
And, as much as I don't like our division rivals, I would much rather the Giants because they're not much of a threat to us.
They could have helped us out by knocking Dallas out of first place, but
Yeah. I
couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I know I felt scummy rooting for the Giants last night.
Yeah. See, for me, so we're both Eagles fans, Aaron and I, and when you're looking at the NFC East, I don't mind the Redskins. I really don't, because I don't really feel like everyone talks about that being such a huge rivalry, but like I feel like that was like the 80s. Like I don't really think we've had a huge beef with them recently. I could be wrong, very wrong.
I'm trying to think of a good comparison for what they are, but basically they're not really a thought.
Yeah.
They're a team that's in shambles right now.
Yeah.
They're rebuilding. They have a rookie quarterback starting. It's a mess. An interim head coach.
Yeah.
Like they're not somebody we really have to worry about in general. So I don't really consider them. I mean, we have to win against them, but it's not like you don't get up for them as much as you do for the Cowboys coming into town.
Yeah. And like the Giants, they're like, I don't know. I don't necessarily like them because they make me think of just like white trash for some reason. I don't know where I get that association from. Again, it's like the brown month. Where does that come from?
Are you saying you're associating New York with white trash?
Maybe not. No.
Hot take.
No.
You heard it here first.
No, I would never do that. But maybe I would. No, I don't know. For some reason, I just think of white trash when I think of the Giants. I don't know. Maybe in like Jeremy Shockey. I know he doesn't play anymore, but like when I think of him, I just think, man, that guy looks like white trash with his like mullet or whatever.
I wonder what he does now. He was on TV for a while.
Maybe he's selling real estate like Brent Selleck.
Maybe.
That's what he does, right?
He does. He's a realtor now. If you're in the Philadelphia market, buy from Brent Selleck, I guess.
Brent Selleck, will you sponsor my podcast?
Oh, here we go.
And then when it comes down to like teams in the division that I ultimately hate, the Cowboys are that team because they're just so cocky and they're just a bunch of dickheads. Like that's how I can describe it to people who don't watch football. The Eagles and the Cowboys are just dickheads, and the Eagles are the superheroes because, I mean, maybe not right now because we've had such an up and down season. Deshaun Jackson, get your shit together with your abdominal injury.
You know he's having surgery now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Out 6 to 8 weeks.
Maybe we'll have him back for the playoffs when we're a wild card team that shouldn't even make it in to begin with.
We'll see. Everyone says we have an easy schedule for the second half of the season, so
Yeah.
after New England and Seattle.
Yeah. Which, I mean, Seattle was getting beat by the Buccaneers the other day, so it shouldn't really be
I think they ended up winning, though.
in overtime, yeah. But, yeah, it is football season, part of the Brown Month. The Brown Month here at Fueled by Coffee Podcast. It is the Brown Month, where we talk about...
We should make some merch for the Brown Month.
The Brown Month? Yeah, well, I was thinking if
Sell it on your store.
If this ever takes off, it would be really cool to have our own coffee, my own coffee.
Yeah.
Or
for the Brown Month.
Brown Month coffee. Tastes like turkey. And Hostess snack cakes. Sponsored by Hostess.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so football. I'm sure we'll talk more football on another episode. We are almost out of time. It's almost 30 minutes. Yeah, we have a lot we could talk about.
So choose wisely.
On another episode. Another episode for another day. But, Aaron, is there anything that you would like to add? I know I kind of took the reins on this one. Is there anything you would like to add before we end this abomination?
No, man, this is fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the next episode and seeing who you bring on, and
Yeah.
excited to see how Fueled by Coffee grows.
Yeah.
Maybe you can bring me some coffee next time.
I know. Well, I was going to go to Wawa.
It's cool. The guests can provide the coffee. I had no forewarning that was the name.
I know. Yeah, I guess. I
would have made a whole pot for us, man.
I didn't want to be rude and be like, all right, you need to make coffee. I was going to go to Wawa, but as I said, my tire was almost flat and there were other technical difficulties and I didn't want to keep wasting time. But yeah, so I think the next time you're on, we'll have to do Wawa. Because that was always our thing, was Wawa.
Still is.
Yeah.
Never won't be. never won't be, right?
Never.
The double negative.
Yeah, I don't know.
Always will be, never won't be.
Yeah. Jack will probably, my friend Jack, he'll be on here hopefully at some point. He's an English major. He'll probably be ripping this apart.
Nice.
He'll be
looking forward to it.
He'll be sitting there. But yeah, so Fueled by Coffee, episode 1. It's been an interesting time talking about the brown month and the snowpocalypse of 2018 and delving a little bit into the NFC East. And
go Birds.
Yeah. Please make the playoffs. Go on a run for me. But yeah, this has been fun. So this is the end of episode 1 Fueled by Coffee podcast. Aaron, thank you for spending half an hour with me.
Thanks for having me, man.
It's been a lot of fun, and
it's always a good time.
Oh yeah, I look forward to the next conversation.
Definitely.